You know what I want to do? Can we look at Boeing and Caterpillar? Both of these names started off the session lower. They are exposed to global trade. They are still down. Caterpillar down 1.5%. We have Boeing lower by a full percentage point. There's the news flash. The trade war with China is frightening CEOs. The latest Business Roundtable survey, they talked to all these CEOs. They found that 63% of CEOs say recent tariffs and uncertainty about trade would have a negative effect on their company's capital investment decisions, meaning whether they'll spend money to grow in the next 6 months. Alli McCartney is Managing Director at UBS Private Wealth Management, and you've got more than $1 billion in assets that you're watching with your private wealth clients. Translate this, if you could, to names of stocks. You don't have to name them themselves, but stocks overall that your wealth clients love to own,
sure,
and whether this will have an impact on those stock names.
Look, I think that what you have to take this back to is that the markets don't like uncertainty. Markets don't like uncertainty. Individuals don't like uncertainty. CEOs don't like to make decisions in a vacuum with uncertainty. This doesn't distract us from where we are focused right now, which is that we are in the longest bull market we've had since the Second World War. And we're making a turn from growth stocks into value stocks. When you look at some of the value indices, you start to talk about financials, you start to talk about oil and gas, and those are the things, especially with the U.S. being so predominant in the oil production and with this being a supply-side-based market at this point, those are the places you want to go. You want to be with those Jamie Dimons of the world. You want to be in those areas where, irrespective of how quick the Fed moves, irrespective of back and forth that you have in trade, because you are absolutely going to see more of this, right? This is the time in this cycle, even if you didn't have discussions about protectionism globally, where you're going to see volatility come back. So you've got to get used to it, and you've got to be in those things that you can go through and that the economic environment is going to move forward.
I find it's very interesting. I'm glad you brought up the Fed. The Fed starts a 2-day meeting tomorrow.
Yep.
Most likely they will raise rates. You have Mario Draghi in Europe saying, we're starting to see some pretty strengthening inflation.
Exactly.
We kind of have it here, too.
Want.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it means so the economy is getting a little healthier and companies have pricing power. But in the end, you worried about anything? I have more people saying, wait a minute, this has been going on so long.
It has been going on so long. Again, we're 114 months into this bull market. And as the numbers that came out today, the one slightly cautious number was the CEOs talking about protectionism and how to invest alongside that. But everything else is at 16-year highs for this survey. Their view of the labor market, their view of sales going forward. The economy is strong. We've had this very global economic expansion, and it's going to continue, so stay in that value chain.